it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Okay, so for today's reaction video is a song that we probably all know, but there's a reason we're going back to check it out. So we are checking out Pantera and Revolution. Is it Revolution Is My Name? Is My Name.
Is my
Now,
name.
the reason we're checking this out is because this came off the album, was it Reinventing the Steel, I believe?
The last album by Pantera.
Which was just critically and from an audience point of view and fans was not accepted well.
Disappointing album.
Disappointing album. So the question is what made it? Because there was a lot of talk about the element of how the album came together with the fact that Phil was very separate to the rest of the band and he was literally recording his vocals somewhere else and tapes were being sent in. So they didn't feel it was a cohesive album, but I thought it'd be worth go back now. And there's none of the stuff that's on this album is being played currently live in the new reunion, as my understanding.
I'm surprised by that.
So nothing's being
The singles are fine.
Well, I thought it'd be good for us to check out their single that came off the album to find out, was it actually as bad as people were talking about? So I haven't listened to this in quite a long time. So when it probably came out, I bought the album and I don't actually remember ever listening to the album in full.
Yeah, I bought the album when it came out. I remember being disappointed. I remember Tom Araya of Slayer saying he was disappointed with it. So,
well, let's go check out Revolution Is My Name by Pantera. Were they trying to recreate the I'm Broken video at this point?
it looks like that, doesn't it? The way that they've done it. Although they seem to be in an abandoned aircraft hangar,
Yeah,
don't
similar vibes though, that playing in a group.
they? Love the vocals on this, by the way, from Anselmo.
I love how it doubles up in that tempo at that point. That's the bit that always kind of put me off on this, was that switch in tempo. That's the bit that I never really liked.
I love this chorus. It sounds like Kirk Cobain.
Yeah.
I missed the cue. Was there a still of Bruce Dickinson just a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Change was fucking brilliant, this part.
Yeah, see, this is the thing with this song. There was too many tempo changes. Yeah, I wanted to get into my natural locked-in groove like we did on.
No, I'm the opposite.
Like
I love how
the
it's
display. Flaming drumsticks.
You don't need a rhythm guitar player when you've got someone like Dimebag. You can just do the solos and let the bass carry the rhythm.
I just love this riff. They should be playing this live on the reunion. I do love the whole play on there, like their love of the Kiss Army. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this tempo change coming up now. Black Sabbath worship for the ref.
There are lots of elements in this song, isn't there? Lots of, as you say, time changes and everything.
I wonder if that's what put people off the album, is the signature changes and stuff that's going on.
Listen to the bass of that guitar solo. Natural harmonics coming up.
Yeah, but come on, cowbell, mate. Cowbell.
A reminder, you can still get music like this. Machine Head is still around, delivering. And that's why we call him a guitar god.
Okay, there we go. So that was Pantera and Revolution Is My Name, which is a song we've all pretty much heard. Now, I can't remember. I don't remember that song being kind of like the standard of the album. I thought the album was quite a bit more obscure as far as it wasn't as groove orientated. Because I think of, when I think of Pantera, my favorite albums, which will be Cowboys from Hell and Vulgar. And I even liked the one before that, Power Metal. I love Power Metal. It's a great album. Anyway, if you look at those, they were all very kind of groove written. When we went to Broken...
Yeah, Far Beyond Driven.
Far Beyond Driven, sorry.
Yep.
There were things like you've got like 5 Minutes Alone and Unbroken and stuff like that were great tracks. Planet Caravan on there as well. But they started to get a little bit more extreme, and then they kept doing that. They got hurt more and more, trying to be more disjointed.
Yeah, the Great Southern Trendkill even has a grindcore song on it.
Suicide Note Part 1 and Part 2 on there were just
Fucking hell,
extreme.
yeah.
I can't remember anything else off this album. I was sitting there literally just trying to wrap my brains going at anything else about the album. So I don't remember if this song was a good example of the rest of the album, or if it was just that this was the only one that was more commercially viable. Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, this was the standout. It was the MTV video song, wasn't it? So I basically remember this album because of this song, and the rest of the album doesn't really live up to this. But before I give my analysis, we've got to go to Andy. What do you think?
We've all heard this song. No, we haven't.
Haven't you?
You'll know the
I've
famous
missed out on
songs.
Pantera.
It's a true reaction then.
Yeah,
There we go.
I know Pantera from the MTV videos, the singles from Cowboys from Hell and Vulgar Display of Power and a few others. I have actually started listening to Pantera in the last few months. In fact, I had Cowboys from Hell on the car here, and like I said, I feel I've missed out on following them when they were big and these albums came out. I was probably more into the death and doom, and you can't listen to everything, but I'm really liking Pantera. I mean, I thought this was typical of what I've heard and what I know of this band. You know, Kirk, you said it's like the MTV track, and it's, you know, maybe not indicative of this album as a whole. But yeah, I mean, it's a Pantera song for me. I mean, Phil Anselmo seems to be less aggressive in this song than the ones that I'm familiar with, to be honest. He certainly looks very different, less aggressive. You know, he's got the long hair rather than the old shaved head like myself. But yeah, it's a great riff from Dimebag Darrell. It's a Pantera song, you know, and I will now, not from this, but from my experiences of listening to sort of Cowboys and Hell and Vulgar Display of Power, I will sort of extend that to the other albums in their catalogue. Maybe not go back as far as Power Metal, David, but even beyond. I've seen the promo shots of early Pantera. It's disturbing.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, truly missed as a band, as a guitar player, well, and drummer as well. He's passed away, his brother.
The Abbott brothers.
But I feel I've missed out. You know, everyone knows Pantera. Everyone talks about Pantera. Everyone's a Pantera fan who I know. And I know a few songs that I've seen on MTV. But I'm getting there.
Question: have you listened to the Great Southern Trendkill yet?
No, I haven't.
He's got to hold off till next week.
That album.
Yeah.
Suicide Note. We can't give him Suicide Note.
I've got a playlist on Spotify, and you know,
Just avoid the Great Southern Trendkill, because when you talk about
so I don't
aggression-
spoil it.
we've got to see. Yeah, we've got.
You'll like it. It's extreme
song
metal.
on there for extreme metal. If you're into extreme, there's a song on there.
They basically went out of their way to not be Metallica in the 90s because with Far Beyond Driven, they got the audience to like, fuck this, we're not going to continue writing like this.
Going back to that, I mean, it's you know, like a lot of the songs I've already picked up on. You know, there's the main riff, which is so memorable.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the most complex guitar playing in the world, but it just sticks in your brain. It's catchy, and he was, you know,
Possibly
a
the
really
greatest.
revered guitar player and songwriter, and you know,
Yeah.
I need to get into this band more.
Do you want me to give
Do you
an
want to wrap up on
analysis?
yours? Yeah.
Yeah. So what always stood out for me were the vocals in this song. You're right, not as aggressive, but my God, listen to that chorus. That is like Kirk Cobain, isn't it? That gravel-throated pitch.
Song's still going through my head right now.
I know, exactly. First time I heard it, I was like, it really blew me away just for the chorus. Let's not forget, Phil Anselmo can actually do the Rob He can actually do the Rob Halford vocals, can't he? The end of Cemetery Gates, for example, which he never went back to. I almost get the impression he's ashamed of that. Whereas, in the 90s, these were like the archetypal macho metal band, weren't they? The reason why a lot of people didn't like this album, because The Great Southern Trendkill is such a fuck you to the music industry, and it still went platinum, and it's so extreme. Don't get me wrong, you've still got some great hooks on there and grooves, but Dave, one thing that put you off that song is the sudden glitchy tempo changes. I love that. I think it's quite a playful song, and it's trying to second guess you throughout, even though we can all sing the chorus and that riff. But when it goes into that really extravagant pentatonic scale riff, and even the bass is following it, and then it just comes back into this real crushing natural harmonic riff, to me that is like, obviously Machine Head are influenced by Pantera, aren't they? But it reminds me of Machine Head. The drums, is it me? The drums didn't seem to be at the forefront of the mix in that, unlike the other albums either. I think it could have been heavier. I think the album could have been heavier with a better production.
I think it sounded more vocal heavy than normal.
Yeah.
I thought they brought the vocals heavier. I think that's because they weren't all together.
Yeah,
correct?
Possibly, yeah. Because when you listen to Vulgar Display of Power, I mean, come on, that's the guitar album of the 90s, really, isn't it? Every song on there, the riff and want to learn it. And they were still doing it there. But yeah, I'm like you, I can't remember many songs on that album. I have listened to it recently, and that one just stands out for me every time.
Was the band morale that bad? I mean, what's the history? You said they wasn't together, and Sam recorded his vocals, elsewhere. There obviously a acrimony between everybody.
That could be a very long story. But basically, from what I know, is because of Phil's substance problems.
Drug addiction, let's be honest.
He had substance problems. He was suffering from severe back problems. So he stayed at one part. He didn't want to keep traveling. They were staying at their place to do their recording parts. So he didn't want to keep moving back and forth because of his back. I believe he was doing treatment at the time.
Yeah,
that's what he was down to.
Just to point out though, The Great Southern Trendkill was recorded like that because Phil did his vocals at one of Trent Reznor's studios, and that is a great album. But I think there actually was more harmony in the camp for this one, certainly on the tour. And then only Phil Anselmo can answer this. Why the hell did he just start giving interviews in the press and saying such vicious things about these, his brothers, these people that...
Unfortunately, I think now with the passing of the brothers, it's nothing we're ever going to get any answers to or any closure on it. So anyway, that was Pantera, and Revolution Is My Name. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe, click the bell icon down below, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.